Hello everybody, welcome you all in my fifth session of this series where I'm going to discuss today about the inner classes and memory management in various programming languages. So, uh, what do I mean by inner class? Inner classes are the concept where we basically define a class inside a class. So, almost all languages support this. If you are going to discuss any of the languages which you are familiar with, so for example C++, Java, Python, all languages have support for this class inside a class, and that is what we call as inner classes. So in the inner classes we are having single level inner class where we declare a single class inside a class. We are having even multi-level inner class where you can declare or define more than one class inside a class. We are also having multiple level inner classes where a class can have one class have nested inner classes, like one class, suppose there is a class A, class B can have class C can have class D, class D can have class E. So all these C, D, E classes are inside a class B. So a class can have more than one inner classes. So basically now, why do we use this? What is the use of these inner classes? So this is the concept of something which is called as cohesion and coupling. So in the cohesion, what exactly we have is we are keeping only those things which is required inside the class. So only those methods and variable which is exactly required for that class is kept to fulfill the responsibility of those classes. The rest of the things which is not exactly useful for that class, we are not bothering to keep those methods and variables inside the classes. So cohesion is a notion that tells us that my class is having only those methods and variables which is exactly required for that class. Unnecessary methods and unnecessary variables are discarded from that class. So another very example is coupling. So loose coupling we usually prefer so that one class is not dependent to another class. So if there are multiple classes and they want to communicate together, multiple classes, I mean that it can have multiple objects. So basically, why do we write class is to create the object. So there can be multiple objects of those classes. So in general sense, in real world scenario, objects communicate together. So if one object is having dependency with another object, so creation of one object will automatically create the another object. So if suppose there are thousands of objects, they are communicating with together. So one object will create thousand objects. Another one, second object which is communicating with those thousand objects will create also again thousand objects. So these thousand objects will be multiplying by creating thousand objects for each. So this will unnecessary overlaps the memory of the compiler where exactly my program is running. So this will not be a good idea for writing a program for communication of different objects. So to avoid this tight coupling, to avoid these dependencies, we prefer to use loose coupling. And this loose coupling in the programming languages is supported by designing the interfaces, and in C++ usually we do by making the header files. So here what is happening is that inner class is a notion that one class is inside another class. So here this big box is having two small boxes. So inside this big box there is one box and there is one box. So this is a notion where I am representing that these If suppose this is a class, inside this class there is another class, there is another class. So these classes are dependent to each other, and they will be kept inside a big class. Similarly, we may have two separate classes. Here the box represents the separate classes, two boxes. They can be used to develop something new. So they can be used to develop something new. So here we had used two different classes, and they used together to develop something this kind of structure. So they were the example of loose coupling, and here preferably we are having the tight coupling, and it is a best example of cohesion also. So next thing is that when to use inner classes. So these inner classes are used for dependent classes, as already I explained, and it can be seen as an example of car and engine. We are having an engine which is for and there is a car. So for a car there must be an engine. So engine is something which should come as an inner class for the car. Similarly, we are having the memory management. So since we are going to discuss about the classes and inner classes, so parallelly we have to concentrate how my object is going to be stored in the memory, compiler's memory. So for C++, if we are having a program and we are writing our program with a preprocessor, that is has include something, so it becomes an expanded program, and it is compiled by the compiler and generates object file. This object file is linked with a linker and generates executable file. Then what happens? So at the runtime, this object file is having code and data. So whatever it generates as the object file, it keeps code and data, which is a fixed block of memory. Then again at the runtime, some of the data is created. So those data gets stored inside the stack, and the object at the runtime is created. It is stored inside the heap. So this stack and heap as the global memory, which tends to increase to each others. So this is the memory management in C++. Next, what happens in Java? Java, we are having a memory which is called as heap. So here inside the heap there are different objects which is created, and we are having different stacks of memory. So basically the program gets loaded into the RAM, and Java is having thread level access, thread level memory. So each and every thread is having its own stack. So inside the stack we are having the programs which is all the variables of the programs which is currently running. So the references are basically a pointer to the object which is stored inside the memory heap. So all the variables that we have declared inside the program, they are also pointing to a particular object. So everything in Java is in terms of object. So references are pointed by a dash line, and the variable which we are declaring is pointed by a solid line. The reason for representing is dash line because this references may later on may point to another object. That is why it is pointed as the dash line. So here we are having one object which is having pointer to another object. So one object may have a chain of another objects. So all these objects are linked together and are stored inside the heap. These objects may be deleted later on with the help of garbage collection. So Java is having two algorithms, mark and sweep, which helps in deleting the object. Mark is an algorithm which points out all those objects which are not in use, and sweep is the algorithm which is helpful in deleting the objects permanently from the memory. Next thing, in the Python, we are also having the private heap where Python objects and data structures are stored permanently, and this private heap is managed by Python Memory Manager. So just one level below of this Python Memory Manager, it is having allocator, that is basically RAM memory allocator, which checks that whether we are having enough space available inside the private heap or not. So all those objects which we create in the programming language Python, they are pointed by a specific allocator, that is object specific allocator. Suppose if we have created integer, character, float, these types of variables at the runtime will be stored in the will be pointed by the object specific allocator. So while running the Python program, we are basically having Python with the extension py. So all the Python program we save by the extension .py. This program is interpreted in the bytecode. So bytecode is a kind of interpreter. So in the Python we are also having Jython, CPython. So Jython basically is a Java bytecode, CPython is a C compiler bytecode. So similarly, all the Python programs are converted into the bytecode, and while converting the bytecode, it generates .pyc file or pycache folder, from where the virtual machine interprets it. So this was all about how the classes and inner classes gets created and how the memory management works in the Python. Connected to this, we will be seeing the inner classes program, how it is written in the programming languages.